Let's take a trip down memory lane. It's so good to look back, right? It was the 2016 election, and everything was going smoothly for the Clinton campaign. Somehow, the Republicans had nominated a reality TV show host, and a video came out with him talking about grabbing women by the pussy. And everything was going great over at Clinton campaign headquarters. How could she possibly lose this election? And then this happened.
Just 11 days before the election, the announcement creating shockwaves. The FBI reopening the investigation into Hillary Clinton's email use. Director James Comey explaining in a letter to Congress, in connection with an unrelated case, the FBI has learned of the existence of emails that appear to be pertinent to the investigation.
Yeah, I feel weird even quoting Trump, just saying, grab him by the pussy. My mom does watch this, so it's just a weird moment for me. Anyway, the good old October Suprise. All right, now if you haven't heard of this before, the idea is that a big news story comes out that changes the course of the election. In 2016, Comey announcing that he was again looking into Clinton's emails helped propel Trump into the White House, right? I mean, there are a lot of other factors there about people not showing up, thinking that, Clinton had it in the bag, but that was a really, really big moment, for Trump's campaign, right? He had done a good job of painting Clinton as this criminal, painting him as, not the typical politician, right? And so, all this investigation stuff, like people are like, maybe I wanted something new. And so 4 years later, Trump is hoping for another October surprise. And guess what? This one also centers around emails. All right, so get your tinfoil hats on because this shit's kind of crazy. A guy who owns a computer repair store says he got a water-damaged laptop from Hunter Biden, right? Hard to know if it was actually Hunter Biden because he's legally blind. Okay. Also, at the time, Hunter Biden was living in California. Okay. So then he fixes it. Happens to go through some emails, because I guess, hey, maybe it wasn't password protected. Who knows? But yeah, decides to go through some emails and happens to find, wait for it, some damaging info about Hunter Biden. And it all centers around the Bidens in Ukraine. And supposedly, it supports allegations that Joe Biden used his power to shut down investigations into Hunter Biden. And also, there's lots of damning pictures of Biden with drug paraphernalia. Now, I'll be honest here. I will be very honest with you. This has completely changed my mind. This has changed everything. This election has been totally thrown up in the air, right? This completely changes who I was voting for. And I can announce right now on this show that I will not be voting for Hunter Biden in the 2020 election. I mean, seriously, this shit is ridiculous. Come on, the computer repair guy, seriously, come on. And it gets crazier from there. So the computer repair guy gives the laptop and hard drives to the FBI, saying he was scared for his life. They didn't do anything with it because, crazy people. And then he, contacted Rudy Giuliani, as one does. Nothing wrong with that guy, right? And here we are. Now, there are a few things fishy about this story, in case you haven't already realized. One, the computer repair guy has said in an interview publicly that he wanted to exonerate Trump over that whole impeachment thing. He also indicated that his girlfriend left him because he voted for Trump in 2016. Weird, but true. Also, and this is a very important point that kind of stood out to me. He said he was afraid for his life, right? He got this laptop. It has all this information about Biden and all this stuff going on. So he contacted the FBI because he was scared having all this, and they don't do anything with it. And then he contacts Rudy Giuliani? Really? Let me get this straight. You're scared about this going public. You're scared about having this information. And then you go to Rudy Giuliani. Seriously, like, does that make sense to anyone out there? Like, if you had something that was just a bombshell, that was just some crazy, something that you're worried about could, like, get you killed or get your business destroyed or just destroy you, right? Why would you go make it public, right? If you're so afraid of that you're calling the FBI, then why do you turn around and make it public? Does make a whole lot of sense. And especially when you're trying to talk to Rudy Giuliani. But honestly, he was a little busy this week explaining this. Yes, that is Rudy Giuliani appearing in the new film Borat. Went and saw it myself. It is a very funny movie. Maybe not as funny as the first one, but you know, it is pretty good. Yeah, so that's Rudy Giuliani in a hotel room with someone who is a reporter there, and so that's not a good look. Not a good look. And so the thing about Rudy Giuliani and this scandal, right, is he's shown a lot of pictures, a lot of evidence, so-called evidence, right, to try to explain his side of the story, try to say that this is all true. The problem is that he's showing just pictures of messages. He's showing like printouts. I've seen him with a couple like pieces of paper where he literally just printed out the email or like PDFs. And the thing about that kind of stuff is no one can track the data, right? There's this thing called metadata. So I don't want to be the one to tell you this, but you do anything online, right? People can track pretty much everything you do. And there's a signature, or there's a trail of breadcrumbs, if you will, with any kind of electronic data. And now if Rudy Giuliani was like, oh, okay, this information needs to get out to the public, then why isn't he giving it out to the public? People are complaining that news outlets aren't covering this story. Well, the thing is, Rudy Giuliani won't share any of this, digital data, this laptop, any of these hard drives. He won't share any of this data with actual news organizations so they can dig into it, right? They're not just going to take him at his word. I mean, Rudy Giuliani, like, he is already, one thing the FBI has said about him is that, the FBI is already saying that, Rudy Giuliani is susceptible to Russian misinformation, right? And they came out, the ODNI, the Director of National Intelligence, came out and said that there is no evidence that this is a Russia plot of any kind. But he didn't come out and say it is not a Russia plot of any kind. He said they just don't have any information on it. They don't have any intel. That's different than saying that it isn't, right? And a lot of the stuff there that they're pulling out just kind of seems very flimsy. So here's a screenshot, right, that they have shared. That apparently this is Hunter Biden signing off on having this map prepared. You know this is legit because it comes from Sean Hannity's site, right? Sean Hannity has the best kind of information. He's not wrong about anything, right? He's, Sean Hannity, he's not biased in any way. He wouldn't make anything up. But as you can see here, this is Hunter Biden's supposed signature. Here is his actual signature. Do these look anything alike to you? Like, not at all, right? I mean, this literally looks like some squiggly lines. And, this doesn't look like the greatest signature either, but it doesn't exactly look like his signature, just doesn't gel. So, yeah, there is no real proof of any of this. And even if there was, it's about Hunter Biden, not Joe Biden. And I've seen the pictures that they've shared of Hunter Biden, with a pipe in his mouth, passed out, obviously on drugs. And I just can't help but think that, like, the fact that he's had a drug problem is nothing new. And I just can't help but think people are tired of, the attacks on Biden's family. I mean, yes, people attack Trump's family all the time. But the thing is, they're all in politics. Ivanka works at the White House. Eric and Don Jr. are always campaigning for Trump. Eric was on This Week with George Stephanopoulos. a couple weeks ago, and with a crazy off the rails interview, and it just, like they're a part of the campaign. They're actively campaigning for their father, right? And we could talk about John Jr.'s alleged cocaine use. That's out there. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's the thing. Like, they are a part of the campaign, right? They're part of this political process. I haven't seen Hunter Biden on the campaign trail. I haven't seen him attacking Trump or his family. What I have seen from Hunter Biden, and this is kind of old here, but what I have seen from Hunter Biden is this.
President Trump likely will see or at least read about this interview. Anything you'd like him to hear from you?
No. I mean, really, no. It's really hard for me to say anything snarky right now or combative because I was raised to respect that office. I don't know. It's making me emotional.
Yes, that is Hunter Biden, right? Does he really seem like this criminal mastermind who is somehow, running this, corrupt kind of empire, and Joe Biden, and it's like, make it sound like they're like the mafia or some crazy shit like that, right? That's Hunter Biden, thinking about the office of the presidency and getting emotional, right? I mean, does this really seem like someone who would do all this kind of crazy stuff they're alleging? And so here's the thing. Again, this, they're trying to pull up all kinds of stops, all the stops to try to, create something when nothing's there, right? And by and large, it seems like people are ignoring this story because it smells like a lot of bullshit. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for watching Citizen Pete. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, click that little subscribe button, maybe the like button, and hey, maybe just leave a comment. I want to know what you're thinking. What do you think about all the politics and news and all the stuff that's going on in our country?